What is up YouTube, and welcome to this The Stand Episode 7 review, recap and breakdown. I must start off by saying I did struggle through this episode as it is clearly the worst one of this mini-series thus far. On the back of the payoff of scheming by Harold and Nadine, we got almost nothing interesting and had an inevitable betrayal as the Boulder Free Zone leaders did their best fellowship impression. I've defended the show far more than really I should have, as this was a real damn stinker with heavy pacing issues and almost no payoff at all for anything that ever happens. It seems like it's a choose your own adventure as we just move to page 17 and we have no substance whatsoever. We open with a nuke in a silo as the trash can man here was sent to get a nuke by Flag in the episode last week, except in the book, Trash Can Man simply did this as a foolish attempt to curry favour once more with the Dark Man because he had a very silly sabotage attempt. And while this scene is important for the ending of the book, really it didn't translate well here, as if I hadn't read the book, I would have to wonder at this scene as to what the point is, as it's not paid off later in the episode and exists just to, well, exist. And it would have been nice if they kind of went off script and did their own thing, perhaps, but it just seems a bit pointless, and it just has there an existence to remind us that, well, this thing is going on in the background. It then cuts to an extended scene of Nadine and Harold pulling the trigger on their bomb plot, and he instantly implies Nadine has the bum deal by being the future bride of Flag, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to get a hotter chick," just to paraphrase him there. Harold is wasted heavily in this show, as not only does he perish this episode, but we got next to no interaction between the pair in the whole series, other than him shouting at her in secret, and she calms him down with a cheeky hand shandy. It's just another in the long line of complete and utter wasted opportunities. Yes, I know that this is an adaptation, but it would have been better if it was a full multi-season show to allow just any sort of characterization other than this happens, and this happens. Now they head off to get a head start on Vegas as Larry surveys the fallout in the medical building, and luckily Franny is a-okay. Larry talks to Glenn about who is responsible, as they know Harold was, but Nadine also helped. And it just seems like it's just totally convenient. It seems quite a leap there from Larry there finding the t-shirt of Nadine in Harold's house. It's just, yeah, this is just a paint by numbers filler episode in my opinion. Larry says how Nick was Abigail's favourite, and as she wakes up, she says she thought he would be the leader. Wait, hold on. I thought Stu had the Chad energy of the leader. But anyway, she passes on that dubious honour now to Stu, and she says they all must go to the Dark Man Flag's land because just vibes, I guess, and they can't take anything, just the clothes on their back, and walk the over 700-mile journey. Now, I've really suspended my belief thus far, but it just seems like things are happening because they have to happen to get to the end of the show. Now, Stephen King is a superb writer, and while The Shining is a book where it's not really a lot happens, the way it's written, the detail, the backstory, the motivation, that makes Stephen King's writing. Here, without any of that, is just a bare bones show. Now, God wants them to take a stand in Las Vegas as Harold and Nadine ride to Vegas, but Nadine, just like her actress, is the absolute worst and runs Harold off the road and says, "Hey, it's better off this way." Wait, what? She says Flag wouldn't have let him live, but why? They've set up the rules of what Flag wants, and it seems like Harold is the perfect person to go into this world because he is unrepentant. And, well, it makes no sense. I know he dies in the same way in the book, and the same thing happens, and we did have Flag say that he was never meant to be a part of this or ascend to Olympus, as he says, but well, you've set up the whole world as it is. It just seems a bit kind of convenient because this happened in the book, but your show's different. Now, Franny is with Stu as he prepares to go to Vegas, and he's willing just to leave a pregnant girlfriend, go off to Vegas on the whim of God. Franny thinks gods are just playing pawns, which, yes, it kind of does feel like that. Hey, why not do anything and just do what you want compared to good and evil playing their machinations with you? The writing is just abysmal, and I'm sorry for being so negative. I really don't like being negatives in videos, but I really have to tell you as it is. It's a snooze fest, and it doesn't make a single lick of sense based on the rules they have set up thus far. She hints that he just wants justice for Harold and is going to go off mission, which he seemingly says, but she just wants him to return. He's an absolute dingus and he didn't need to go at all, and she makes him promise to return as Larry gives Joe a guitar and says his goodbyes. Wait, hold on. Are we not going to get a slightly single iota of a payoff for Joe's adopted mother being a mass murderer? No? Okay, fine. Let's go off to the Fellowship as they set off, and then we see Harold's eating a payday bar, which I had to Google, and they do look like they slap. He writes in his journal and goes to kill himself, just like the books, and it's a full stop on a story which really went nowhere, and his story was the only real reason keeping me watching the show, as the group head into Flag territory as they get bad vibes. The group decide to have a break very conveniently near where Harold's body is, but I guess they'd all walk the same route there to Vegas, as Larry wants to cover up his body out of respect, and he knows that Harold was manipulated by the Dark Man, as the others don't seem to care. And it seems in Harold's last solitary few moments, he was kind of repenting for what he did, and he wonders if he was braver in his youth, would he have done what he did? I mean, he was all in when he left. The message wasn't needed, as his arc just exists to push Nadine forward, and that's really it. And it's a shame, really, but we catch up to Nadine, who is riding solo and comes across Randall Flagg in the desert and follows a vision trail up to his suite as they kiss. They discuss Harold as he was just a pawn, and he says that he can get her reward, which is being his wife, as she stayed pure and did what he asked. He undresses her, and he starts to turn into Marlon Brando when he comes out of the water in Apocalypse Now. Now, in the books, well, it was very different, as he turned into a demon, as she then became pregnant, like we saw in the show, and it's very different. Really, I'll get into that a bit later in the book spoilers section. Now, meanwhile, outside of the sexy Shadow Realm, the Boulder crew find a huge break in the road and descend in it to cross, as we find Stu, the victim here, and the one they think that will not return, as he comes crashing down and breaks his leg. He urges the crew to go on without him, as he will only slow them down, and they begrudgingly accept as Stu transfers the leadership he gained over from Nick to Larry, and Glenn offers him some pain medicine and hints that he can use it to kill himself. However, Kojak, Glenn's dog, won't leave him alone, something we'll get into in the book spoilers section. Now, Nadine then heads to Flagg, who is there to pick her up, which seems weird, as why didn't he pick her up before the vision sex? Anyway, they head to Vegas as she grips her stomach, hinting she's pregnant, and we see RF carved into her thigh, showing just how devoted she is to the Dark Man. Lloyd shows up to pick up the Boulder leaders, as he was told by Flagg exactly where to find them, as they head into the strip and see the crucifixions that was mentioned by the guy who escaped, and slaves are building statues to your boy Flagg, and they arrive at Flagg's home only to be greeted by the corpse bride Nadine. Now, the next episode appears to be some sort of finale, I think, and we'll get a true final ending written by Stephen King in the final episode. I really feel that Nadine's story is changing, and I will be interested to see where they go with this. Now, here's some book spoilers for you, so this is your warning as we count into 3, 2, and 1. Nadine, like I said, was very different from the book, and I don't think she will trick Flag into killing their child like she did, as she saw a demon and turned into an absolute fright horror show and retreated into herself. And I'm interested to see if the nuke will destroy Vegas, as the end of the book just didn't really sit that well with me with a convenient nuke there going off. We know Stu will also be saved by Tom Cullen, and I think I'm just tuning in now to see the true ending that Stephen King wanted. But that's it for this video, so please do drop a like down below, please do subscribe with the notifications on, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.